Well, hello guys. It's Dan Collier for The Search for Truth. We're going to do our news commentary today for you. And this is the eye-opening, eye-awakening viewpoint of news headlines, which we know are all trigger points, all psychological operations to get you to stay on the page and read information that may or may not even be true, so that you look at the particular news organization's advertisements and their sponsors on that page and hopefully buy something so they can make money. So there you go, when you go to look at news articles and news information, thinking you're gathering some intelligence for yourself, what you're really doing is getting trigger words as a huge advertisement using real life or fake life so that they can sell things. Thus, that is what the news is. Let's do some commentary today, and I'm going to put it into perspective of someone who has studied 24 years of insider information as to what these fools, these Satanists, these pedophiles, and these weirdos are doing in the world. So let's begin. Trump's deportation will help U.S. economy and American workers. Well, no duh. We have all these streaming liberals who are nothing more than trigger points. They have been brainwashed to think that they're helping people. And most of them have a good heart somewhere that's been manipulated by these witchcraft people who have placated upon them and got them to believe that the good people in the world are actually bad, and that they are helping these poor migrants and stuff who have come over here from another country because their economy and their evil people running the government, who are the same people controlling the liberals, and they're bringing them over here and they think they're helping. But really what's going to happen is these migrants, uneducated migrants who just do menial labor, will cause a bigger burden on the people that already live here. Because we've already seen how they're dumping billions of dollars into letting them live for free, just draining the economy because they don't care. Because all the money's just made up anyway. All the money is just made up. The people funding and doing all this, they just print money and lay the burden on you and I as... Anyway, I get all into that. That's a whole series in itself. Let's move on to the next article. So here we go. Consumer sentiment hits 5 months high as spending rises. Here's why. Well, I'm not even going to finish that line. Here's why consumer spending is rising: because groceries are 4 times as high as they were before the pandemic. And you know why they're so high? Just because they can raise it. If you guys don't remember, you're not old like me. In the 1970s, they came along and told us we were out of gas, created a fake fuel shortage, and then raised the gas prices astronomical and caused people to wait in lines. They changed the manufacturer of cars. You know why? Just so they could make money. And the reason consumer spending is higher and all that, because a small group of people who are greedy dual citizens decided they want to make some money, and they had an excuse to drain your bank accounts. Let's move on to the next one. So this one's about Cheney, and it says very well could be guilty of witness tampering, talking about Liz Cheney. Well, of course she's guilty of witness tampering. We all know the whole thing with, can't say the word on FluffTube here because they'll, anyway, the inauguration day from the big election hoax, her father was involved in the whole hoax of 9/11 with the small Middle Eastern country that got us to go to war for them. And so you think something's going to be different trickling down the line as she carries on the whole torch there? Of course she witness tampered. Now, whether anything will actually be done, like Hillary Clinton going to jail, which never happened, I think it's a lot of political news that gets you all riled up, gets you all energetic into something, thinking some justice is going to happen. And then, none of these people, they're all in a big group. They probably went to a party together last day, probably all at the same Christmas party last week. Anyway, let's move on. School choice is the civil rights issue of the 21st century. Look, public school probably started out as, well, I'll say this. Public school started out for the sentiment and the complete reason to get all of the American public into the same type of thinking process, teach them the same stuff, teach them, make them smart enough to turn the wheels and haul the material and push the buttons. so that it would be good workers in these factories and these cities and stuff, get them off the farm, get them out of nature, and teach them a bunch of stuff that would keep everyone kind of enslaved in this type of system that's been going on. And so now the school system has progressed down the line. So every country in history moves down this path who moves away from God. And so this is what we have now with the school systems, where people can't even send their kids to school unless they want to get back Tinkerbell and Brutilla coming back out of school screaming at their parents, telling their parents they don't know what they're talking about and they hate them and that they don't know what their gender is. So this comes right out of the, I can't say it on here. Anyway, small Middle Eastern countries' religious philosophy comes out of their main religious book. And that's where all of this stuff is coming from, because they run 75% of the educational systems now to purposely destroy moralistic based, strong Christian families. And that's part of the agenda. Let's move on from there. U.S. holiday retail sales stronger than last year, MasterCard says. Well, of course, MasterCard's going to say stuff. MasterCard wants you to feel confident and wants you to keep using their card and spending money and feeling comfortable that, hey, everybody's doing it. Well, of the strong retail sales, you could have bought a third of the toys or a third of the food or anything you bought last year or 4 years ago and still spent the same amount. So these witchcraft headlines that they put into things are there to trick you. And I'm not falling for their game anymore because I understand how it works. I was a marketing and advertising major and spent 20 years after that going further into how they all manipulate stuff. Here's something on Apple. Apple seeks to defend Google's billion-dollar payment in search case. Who cares? I'm not even going to read it. They both need to go. The monopolies need to be broken up. And we wouldn't even have to argue or worry about what Apple or Google is up to, because it's nothing good for you or me. U.S. core capital goods orders rebound as economy eyes strong into 2024. Now, they're saying there's going to be a strong end to 2024. Let's skip down a couple news articles here. Seeing low-income consumers squeezed, retailers target $10 and under gifts. Wait a second. Here we are in the same news is reporting two opposite things. Called mental hobby-jobby there. That's called some witchcraft. Spellcraft on you where you have dual-mindedness, where they want you to believe two exact opposite things and believe they're both true. These news agencies, I don't care which one you're on, they're there to mess with your mind and keep you in a hoopty-doopty world here. Starbucks workers union set to strike in U.S. cities as talks hit an impasse. Let's take a moment of silence. I'll try to hold back the tears for all those baristas and Starbucks employees who have it so hard. Okay, I'm done. Starbucks, there's another company. What would you rather see anymore? Another Starbucks, what I personally believe may have chemical coffees and muffins and stuff like that? Or would you rather see local businesses pop up? Maybe some grandfather from Italy or somebody came over and they know how to make really good coffee and tasty things and set up a little hometown barista place, and everybody goes and sits and has coffee and enjoys something more hometown instead of another corporate drive-through. Yeah, I know what I'd like to see. Tesla recalls nearly 700 vehicles in U.S. over tire pressure monitoring system issue. Why do we even have these cars? You know why? Because of the whole Green Planet movement. What is the end result? I don't know about Elon Musk. I'm not going to say anything good or bad right this second. But these electric cars, most of us who are in the know, these cars are a big pain in the butt, and I don't see them ever becoming safe in the future, because you've got a giant electronic charged bomb sitting there somewhere around your house, and if it gets cold, I've been around tractors and things my whole life, and when batteries get cold, they don't do good. When they get real hot, they don't do good. They're kind of dangerous. These are all part of this geoengineering, fake New World Order takeover, 15-minute city thing. Electric cars all come with these computers where outside sources can turn them on and turn them off, kind of like the old OnStar stuff. And it falls in line with all the 9/11 things, were spying on you and managing your bank account. Remember the truckers in Canada? And so the Canadian tyranny that was doing things that it shouldn't be doing decided that they're going to end the people's resistance. So the people who the land belongs to, they're going to end the resistance. They just turned all their bank accounts off, couldn't buy gas, all that kind of stuff. What do you think these electric vehicles are really all about? They're selling you on the idea that it's trendy and you're cool and you're saving the planet, which you're not. Have you ever read anything on a lithium mine and the kids and the people involved in that mining and the damage it does to the planet, and then disposing of batteries and all that? It's a joke on you. Why do you let these people do this to you? When you wake up to all of this, you see that they're not only evil, they're the most evil because they're pretending to be good. They're the greatest victim narcissists you have ever encountered in your life, and they've been doing it for 2,000 years. They're experts at it. So I got fooled for a while. I'm sure you got fooled. Let's move on. Losses from crypto hacks jumped to $2.2 billion in 2024, report says. You know what? I don't care. Crypto, what a joke. The invisible money that they say someone else doesn't control it, but here you have hacks and all these things taking place. Look, the earth survived for thousands of years with bags of gold and valuable items you could put your finger on. Crypto is this, it's a spell, it's spell cast. You don't really even have it. It's like your bank account now, they switched us to these credits. We're in a big Star Trek episode where you have so many credits. I mean, they knew this crap, they had this stuff planned out now for 100 years. Okay, I already don't care about this. Former CIA advisor predicts on the morning of Trump's election, or to Trump's inauguration, here's why you shouldn't care. Who cares what somebody's predicting? Because it's predictive programming. The whole article is you're not going to know. You don't know this guy. You don't know who he is. You don't know if he's an expert. And here's a news article meant to get you to read it just so you worry about something that this guy doesn't even know for sure. Unless he's part of something, and if he is, they might as well arrest him right now. There you go. I just spelled it out for you. This is why I don't read the news. Dementia and memory loss has been linked to this common pill you are taking. Any pill you're taking. Read the list of 300 side effects that go along with these petrochemicals from pharmaceutical companies that these doctors are pumping into people who have never even read the study. They've had some pharmaceutical person come there, some representative come there in a tight dress and her boobs hanging out, bringing some cookies and some different stuff, sits down and says, hey, here's a new drug, it's safe, it's been tested. I wasn't there at the test, but it's been tested. Here's a big thing that keeps you protected and safe, and your insurance will cover it, and we'll give you 40% of each one that you talk somebody into doing. Don't worry about the side effects, it's not your fault. So you have plausible deniability. Go ahead and give them some Alzheimer's. Who cares, right? We're rich, and you've got 2 wives to pay off. So anyway, what's really causing from a doctor who gave an entire presentation pulling up all of the, well, what I know to be all of the research done since far back as the late 70s and early 80s, showing that what was causing Alzheimer's and dementia and ADHD in children, nanoparticles of aluminum. And I'm assuming as far back as the 70s and all this stuff, it was pots and pans and deodorant and stuff they were sticking micro particles of aluminum in. And then now we have chemtrailing of the skies where they're spraying every single day. They are spraying us like bugs, just like crop dusting up above, fake clouds. They even have fake names for them now, for clouds from chemtrailing. And to the point now where soil is 500% to 2,000% in some places higher of nanoparticles of aluminum in them that should exist. So how do you think that we're getting nanoparticles of aluminum and causing these effects, dementia, Alzheimer's, which my mother is in late stages of now? The plants, and some of the healthiest ones whose roots grow down the deepest into the soil, can absorb it's creating an electrical reactivity in the brain. The brain needs to protect itself, so it produces amyloid plaque because of the irritation and inflammation that's taking place. And therefore your brain starts, nerve signals and all that stuff can't work properly, and you end up with dementia, Alzheimer's. There you go. I didn't have to go to med school to explain that or become a chemist. to start understanding some of these things. And I think you can as well. So there you go. Today's top headlines that are popping out, and some explanations of things going on within the news, and an understanding from common sense. I hope this helps you start to get a picture on how to take a look at some of these news articles. I haven't turned on the news. I went from younger thinking ABC and CBS and all that, and the Walter Cronkite days, moving all the way until I became a Fox Newser, and then Bill O'Reilly and all of these people talking stuff after, and I was just like, I can't take this anymore, because it's just conservative nonsense talking you into going to war or whatever it might be. And so then I just quit watching the news, and then I quit having cable TV. I turned off cable TV, haven't paid for cable TV, which is ridiculous anyway, but haven't paid for that in about 10 years or so. And so why did I do that? Because I became a master at understanding political, psychological, advertising, marketing, spellcast. Our words are spells. What we speak, good or bad. And so these people are masters in advertising, marketing, news, at implanting messages and controlling you, your life, your attitude, your worries, your fears, whatever you do. They have put everybody, they want you small. See my fingers? This is the size they want. Small, controllable. That's what they want with you from all of this stuff. And they going to keep throwing out. You're never going to turn on the news and have something happen that is going to fully satisfy your soul. Because as soon as something does happen, it seems like by the time you get relief, whether it's Donald Trump becoming president or whatever, by the time you get relief, by the next day, they're already going to be using that factor to create stress and worry about whether it'll get to stay, whether he'll make it to office, whether he'll stay in office, who's fighting him, blah, blah, blah. It'll go on forever. Go back and open up some news articles from the 60s or 70s. Different people, and you'll feel like you're reading a news article today, but with less technology involved in it. But the same things have been going on. So America got hijacked many years ago. Early 1900s, got hijacked, and then it really got hijacked with a better tiptoe on this. Slavery in America was not carried out by who you think it is. They looked white, but they don't claim themselves to be white. So almost 78%, 78% all the slave trade in America was done by people who look white, but they don't claim to be white. And they are the infestation that came over and brought the things that people fled from Europe from. They eventually brought it to America, except through entertainment, Hollywood, news, they've had the freedom to mastermind the control of everybody through using news, worries, fear. It's never anything positive. It's always worry, fear, negative, and against Christ going on. The world is waking up to it now as the search for truth has revealed who's behind all of this stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. You've got a new president coming in 2025, and a majority of his cabinet and advisors and people surrounding him like a swarm of bees are all part of the same group who brought the slave trade into America. Are you getting my point now? And until you fully wake up, which requires the Christian church, until the Christian church wakes up, that they have been talked in to becoming Judas, but not getting 30 pieces of silver for it. In fact, they had to pay to become Judas, and they are supporting. They are helping to raise and fund. They're helping to make their own lives crap because of televangelists and pastors who are making millions from these organizations, paying them to get the Christian church to remain Judas. So I don't want to get too in-depth on this channel here because they'll just wipe it. The algorithm will be like, ah! Yeah. So anyway, this is the search for truth. This is the coverage of the news. That's my opinion on that particular amount of information. Like and subscribe. I will also tell you, if you would like to escape this matrix, if you want to know how I know so much about these types of things and can immediately recognize things that are going on within these circles or cycles then in the link below, I'd like you to get a copy of Reason to Believe. It is the most eye-opening, censored book on the internet involving these situations. So if you'd like to wake up, like to find out more, get a copy of that book. I'm putting a package deal together. It's a combination of two courses I put together. One reveals the dark side, and the second book tells you how to overcome and kick their butt. So that's it for today for the Search for Truth, a little news coverage. I hope you had fun. Leave a comment about how you feel about some of these things, like it or lump it, and we'll see you on the next video. Check out the link in the description. Subscribe because you're going to have to look for these videos yourself because it's very difficult if you're not promoting stupid cat videos or Mr. Beast silliness. If you want to talk about serious stuff or about things that will actually make a difference. We'll see you soon. Dan Collier for the Search for Truth.